just finished. Now, Joe Fargas of the United States with 4. And the last rider is from Great Britain, Bill. And he had a clear round this morning like Fargas. Let's check it here as we come to the final combination.
She jumped in wonderfully, and she's a little bit careless sometimes with the hind end and dragged the rail down with that.
It's very simple. If Michael Whitaker has a clear round, the last rider, he wins the gold medal. Then there is a tie at this point for the silver. 2 United States riders, Homfeld and Fargas. But Michael Whitaker, the youngest of the 2 Whitaker brothers, has 10 fences, 13 jumping efforts ahead of him. Fargas leaves with that knockdown and 4 total points. So it's come right down to this final ride for the gold, at least, Bill Steinkraus.
Couldn't be any more exciting, and that's the way the formula works. It all comes down to the last word.
If he should knock down 1 fence, we will have a jump-off.
3-way jump-off.
3-way jump-off for the gold. And we do have a couple of riders with 8s. 3, in fact. Gets hairy now as we look at this 24-year-old man from Stockport, Cheshire, riding Overton Amanda, another mare, 10 years old, bred in England.
Winner of the George Fisk Cup 2 years ago. He's been under pressure before, but I don't know that he's ever been under pressure quite to rival what's happened.
Bill, when you were in Mexico City, you had a clear first round, along with Marion Coates of Great Britain. Then the second round came, such as Whitaker and Fargas. Now to the second.
This wonderful mare. And Michael doesn't change his riding style. He's just going to do his thing. Look at her good, keen, alert expression. She rubs it behind, but it doesn't come down.
Now the sailboat. This round is for the gold medal.
Coming to that tough triple.
Now we have a 3-way tie. No, a 2-way tie between the 2 United States riders. Bill.
That was disaster for Michael Whitaker. Poor Michael. I really feel for him. That's such a...
But a jump-off will take place here at Santa Anita Park.
That's right.
Today.
And guess what? A U.S. rider is going to win the jump-off.
That's right. Michael Whitaker. The wall, the Liverpool, took them both. And then a refusal.
Hard to say what happened to her in there, really, because she had jumped the 3 combination fine the first time.
Now he has a total of 11.
Oh, boy.
Puts him way out of the medal.
Yeah.
And that is heartbreak. The agony that this 24-year-old must feel at this point. A sellout crowd, standing room only on a very warm day. There is a breeze coming off the ocean. It's blocked, however, by the temporary stands here at Santa Anita.
British have to keep Ronnie Massarella looks in a kind of resigned expression. He's had good days and bad days before, and he'll have some good days and bad days again. I'm sure that Ronnie can take it in his stride. I don't know why she's struggling through this combination as much as she is, because she's got good scope. Otherwise, she couldn't have jumped that enormous oxer. But I really feel for Michael. I think it was no failure of nerve on his part. He's a wonderfully steady, cool customer under pressure.
Great Britain with 2 silver medals in equestrian competition, behind the United States in the 3-day event, and behind the United States in team show jumping.
She comes to the last line now. Down. She really just has fallen apart in this round. She ends up with 28.5 fault.
So what we have here now for the gold medal, 2 American riders, Conrad Homfeld and Joe Fargas. They own a farm together in Virginia. What could be more exciting? A course will be changed. They'll race against the clock. Don't go away. We'll be back at Santa Anita for action. Grand Prix show jumping. Mario Deslauriers of Canada up next. Heidi Robiani, who just finished a clear round, 53.9 seconds.
Aramis goes in. Aramis goes inside the fence that Heidi went around, jumps 6 at a big angle, and it proves to be a little bit too much and has it down. Hard to be really fast with a horse that takes a very long stride like this, because he gets strung out and gets into a stride so long that he can't jump the fences. So he was trying to do it by angling fences instead.
Now the big ox are 3 in a jump off for the bronze medal. 2 Americans for the gold and silver coming up. Homfeld and Farges.
But Mario already can't catch Heidi, because Heidi with Jessica was clear in the dazzling time of 53.39 seconds.
Out of medal contention. Mario Delaurier, a lot of time left. 19 years old. Heidi Robiani, clear around 53.9 seconds. His time, 57.07. But he is out of it. There's 1 left for the bronze. There is Heidi Robiani of Switzerland. All she could do is hope and wait. We'll be back. Heidi Robiani, who had a clear round 53.9 seconds. So Heidi Robiani of Switzerland, Bill, wins the bronze medal. One of the 2 women in the field, the other being Melanie Smith. Now going to the 3rd fence with 1 knockdown, 4 penalty points.
So Heidi is home high and dry with the first individual medal ever won by a woman in the equestrian jumping events.
And for Switzerland, it is their 2nd bronze. They had 1 gold.
And she did it with our mare, Chris.
That's right. Jessica.
We love Jessica right from the beginning, and now everybody can see why.
And I have a feeling Jessica is going back to Switzerland with that bronze medal. So the appreciative round of applause for another Swiss equestrian, Bruno Candrian, with 2 knockdowns, 8 penalty points, but of no consequence to the medals. All right. Heidi Robiani, that 33-year-old lady from Switzerland. She is in the Italian part of Switzerland. On her mare Jessica, the combination has won the bronze medal. The rider gets the bronze. The horse only gets a ribbon. So now coming up, it'll be Conrad Homfeld against his partner and teammate, Joe Farges, for the gold and silver. Only 1 time in the history of the equestrian sports for the United States has the USA won an individual gold, and that was in '68. My colleague Bill Steinkraus did it. So he's going to be joined today. But by whom?
By whom indeed. And they've also won the individual silver, and that was way back in 1932 in Los Angeles, when Harry D. Chamberlain and Showgirl made that wonderful individual result.
And we should point out sort of a recap of the equestrian events, as this is the final competition. The 3-day event gold, as we look at the Duke of Edinburgh in the center, Prince Philip. And on the left, Fritz Widmer, Executive Secretary of the International Equestrian Federation, Prince Philip being the president. All right, Abdullah. Abdullah looks good walking in that direction. Bill Steinkraus, this is a fine competitor.
He just can't go any better than he went in the last round. This time, all he can do is to go a little bit faster. He can't go more beautifully. I would say both Conrad Homfeld and Joe Farges are excellent riders against the clock. I don't know, they've discussed tactics so much together that it's very, very hard to say who has the edge, if any.
Now, they both have a gold because of the United States winning the show jumping team gold. Well, in the 3-day event, a team gold for the USA and an individual silver for Karen Stives. Dressage, no medals. And as I mentioned, a team gold in show jumping, Farges, Homfeld, Smith, and Leslie Burr. 6 fences, 7 jumping efforts because of 10A and B, and against the clock for the gold and silver medals. Finale here at Santa Anita, which has been a superb venue for the equestrian events, where Seabiscuit became famous as a dauntless thoroughbred. Affirmed the Triple Crown winner from here. And now Conrad Homfeld and Abdullah, that 14-year-old gray stallion, and they've only been together since January.
That's right. What a good combination they've forged in those intervening months, however. From trial to trial in the Olympic trials, they went better and better and better. At the very first, I think Abdullah didn't really trust Conrad, but now his trust is obviously complete. I think they raised a couple of these fences because they're jumping off clear rounds. So it's going to be awfully hard to get a clear round, especially with speed being such an important factor.
5 fences to go. Conrad Homfeld. There's Joe Fargus watching. Oh, and a fence is down. At 6.
You see how critical the position in which you go can be in the Olympic Games. That does give Joe an advantage. He knows exactly what he has to do.
Third course he's had to ride today. You'd think it'd get lost, but they keep the red to their right. Red flags at the fence. But even with that, you wonder. Joe
Turning
Fargus
back now
yet to go.
the big combination at the end. Where does he dare turn to make good time?
42, 43 seconds now. Head-to-head, Homfeld and Fargus. 2 knockdowns, 8, and the time, 51.03. 51.03 seconds with 8 faults. Now, it's very simple, isn't it, Bill?
That's right. Now he's in my spot. He's in the spot that I was in Mexico. Not in a jump-off. I was able to do that just in the second round. But he knows that he has a fault to play with. And he is such a steady rider under pressure that I don't think there's any way he's going to blow it.
In other words, he can knock down 1 fence, Joe Fargus, and win the gold.
That's right. If he has the first fence down, he might want to be a little bit quick and see if he can get the time. The time is not desperately fast either. Although notice that without ever galloping, he went in 51.03. If I were Joe, I would certainly try to jump 6. I would come a little bit wide to 6 and take my risk later on in the course.
Bill, I didn't have to be reminded of the popularity of horses in the United States, where the population is 12 million, 8 million registered with breed associations. And beginning with President Ronald Reagan, he knows what the outside of a horse making the inside of a man feel good. And with the number of fans here, your sport is getting increasingly popular, and we can all see why.
I think it's a fabulous sport. There are people who say this is an elitist sport and so forth. With all the backyard horses there are in the United States, that's nonsense. This is a sport for everybody who loves sport.
ABC does the world feed, and in the world there are 150 million horses. 150 million horses in the world. So, here comes that mare that we love, Touch of Class, and Joe Fargus. Head-to-head against his partner, his teammate, and this afternoon in this jump-off, certainly a rival.
Certainly a rival. Certainly a rival. I must say that Joe has been one of the most generous competitors you could ever ride against. He's always had a low profile. He's really been almost a self-effacing person. He's a very modest person, but he's a very beautiful rider.
Selectors this year, the United States Equestrian Team, what a job they had. More depth than you can imagine, but they had to pick 4 in this discipline, and that was tough. They did it by trials. This is one of the 4.
That's
Joe.
Absolutely right. We had to leave 4 world-class riders in the East without even letting them come to California, and we had to leave a world-class rider in the stands in the Nations Cup in the form of Ann Krzinski. But we also have some world-class riders in competition, and here is a round that I'm going to watch with so much interest I don't think I can talk. Chris, you tell me what happened.
I'll take it over. Cleared 1. This 11-year-old thoroughbred mare at Santa Anita. That's the one that Homfeld knocked down. Or now he'll make the big turn to come to the fence. It was Mark II in the second round course, and then clear.
He's still got to jump this big oxer. This big oxer is tough, and the last fence, 10B, is tough.
A rub? It doesn't count. He's still clear. 33 seconds. Now
got
the
away with
sailboat.
that.
She got away.
She's just skimming over the fences behind, but she's leaving them all up, and she's doing it in a beautiful style. Where is he going to turn back to this big combination?
He's going to take a big bend.
He's going for the clear round. He's going to let the time take care of itself, and that's the smart move to make.